A man accused of threatening a local Muslim civil rights group appears in court to answer to serious charges. The 53-year-old defendant is allowed to remain out on bail, and that has outraged the alleged victims. NBC7's Roy Devine is just back from court to tell us what happened.
Catherine, the defendant had been out on $50,000 bail since the alleged incident in mid-January. The alleged victims, members of a Muslim civil liberties and advocacy group, say they want him behind bars as they don't feel safe. And today after court, one of those members called him a terrorist. 53-year-old John David Wiesinger pleaded not guilty to one count of making a criminal threat, one count of attempting to make a criminal threat, and possessing or receiving a large-capacity magazine. He is accused of leaving a threatening voicemail at the San Diego chapter of CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, on January 14th, a message the receptionist received the next morning. He is also accused of sending a threatening email around that same time to the same group's chapter in Washington, D.C. The prosecutor wanted bail set at $140,000. The defense, though, noted that the defendant had little prior criminal history, was not a flight risk, and the night of the alleged incident, he says the defendant had been drinking too much while watching the terrorist incident break out in France. The judge allowed the defendant to stay out on the $50,000 bail.
According to the prosecution's version of what happened, my client was acting completely alone. There was nobody else acting in concert with him. I think the evidence will also come out that there was quite a bit of alcohol consumed by my client that day. And just, he doesn't have any history of anything like this in his past.
So what about the victims of terrorism? Should we say, you know what, the terrorist had too much to drink, and therefore it's okay? So no, it's not okay.
Are you calling him a terrorist?
Absolutely.
And he says letting the defendant stay out on such a low bail is, quote, a double standard. What would have happened, he says, had this been the other way around, with a Muslim making threats?